8. I make a motion to open the meeting at 3:47 p.m.
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay. Roll call. Mary Ann Petruski, present.
Jan Fleming, present.
Robert
Nancy.
O'Kee, present.
Nancy Brown, present. Jesus.
Okay, minutes. I'm going to read the minutes from April 27th, 2023. Roll call. Virginia was here via telephone. Mary Ann Petruski, Robert O'Keefe, Barbara Keith, Nancy Brown, interim executive director. Other absent, Lynn Duffy O'Shea. Other attendees, the Winthrop Terrace Tenant Organization Officer Shirley Kahn, and members of the WTTO. The meeting was called to order by the chair at 2 p.m. Following a motion made by Robert O'Keefe and seconded by Barbara Keith, the motion passed unanimously. Accepting the minutes of March 29th, 2023, a motion was made. The motion passed unanimously. Executive Director's Report, projects, patio plans, the flow of water from the buildings so it doesn't build up anywhere. Work continues on the sump pumps. The road is still on the agenda, but no idea when it will be done. Coin machine and camera now working in laundry room. Mutual aid agreement. There was a mutual aid agreement entered into with Oxford Housing Authority, Barry Nadone as executive director, to have Chanel, the person that does his champ, do our champ. Community room. We have new couches, a recliner, a 65-inch TV, and we'll have side tables, which we have now. Bookcases will be replaced. We don't have those yet. If tenants who don't attend the meetings wish to see it, they can come into the community room and access channel 12 on the TV to watch the programming lineup and the meetings in the community room, including the Warren Housing Board meetings. Closed captions should be available soon on all local channels. A motion was made by Barbara Keith and seconded by Robert O'Keefe to hire Maloney Flooring to install the luxury vinyl click and lock flooring in the entire community room. Hence, look at the floors. An estimate was received from Stavros Painting to do the painting plus the cost of the mileage for the painter in the community room with payment from the Warren Housing. A motion was made by Barbara Keith and seconded by Robert O'Keefe to approve the painting. The motion carried unanimously. TV policy, we're working on it. Remote public meeting extension. Governor Healy has extended remote attendance for open meetings to March 31st, 2025. Changes to the sanitary code. One of the changes to the sanitary code is that if someone does not have a refrigerator when they move in, or if a tenant's refrigerator no longer works, Warren Housing will purchase and furnish a refrigerator for them. In regard to pests, David Johnson will be taking the course for pest inspection, and from now on, when an apartment is rented, it will be inspected beforehand to ensure there are no pests present. Once David has completed this course, he will do these inspections. Audit controls. A motion to approve the audit consent letter was made by Robert O'Keefe, seconded by Virginia Fleming. The motion carried unanimously. Wage match. A motion was made by Barbara Keith and Robert O'Keefe to approve the executive director board approval for the wage match B2. The motion passed unanimously. Modern Pest. Modern Pest gave us a quote for pest control in West Warren that was very high. A motion was made by Barbara Keith and seconded by Robert O'Keefe not to accept the quote by Modern Pest to do the West School in West Warren. The motion passed unanimously. Smoke-free policy. The second offense was amended in the smoke-free policy to read that a 48-hour notice of unit inspection will be made after time of complaint report of smoking odor. A motion was made by Robert O'Keefe and seconded by Virginia Fleming to accept the amended policy. The motion passed unanimously. PHNs, a new PHN published by DHCD, citing the responsibilities and obligations of the Board of Commissioners. This publication was distributed to all board members. Financials, the motion was made by Barbara Keith and seconded by Virginia Fleming to accept the financials for February and March 2023. The motion was carried unanimously. Letter of resignation was received from Lynn Duffy O'Shea, former chairperson of the Board of Commissioners. Lynn has been on the board since 2004, and we thank her for her contribution to the Warren Housing Authority and the community of Warren. Her resignation is effective May 2nd, 2023. Warrant. A motion to accept the warrant was made by Barbara Keith and seconded by Virginia Fleming. The motion passed unanimously. Adjournment. A motion made by Virginia Fleming to adjourn the meeting, seconded by Barbara Keith. The motion passed unanimously, and the meeting was adjourned 3:07 p.m. I am looking for a motion to pass the minutes for April 27th.
I make a motion, we pass the minutes for April 27th.
I second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
The motion passes unanimously. Okay, the agenda. So the first thing on the agenda is the ED report.
The room, that's basically all there is happening at present moment. We haven't heard about the sump pump, haven't heard about the patio, and haven't heard about the road. They're still in the works, but they have a new project manager who has just started 2 weeks ago, so he is not up to date at all. And then they're going to want to finish 76 Windsor Terrace, hopefully, but they have to have a new quote because prices have gone up. And the man who did the first one is waiting for his money for the first design he did. He hasn't gotten paid yet. Don't go there. That's mine.
Okay, all right, laundry room. We're looking for a motion to have the laundry room painted. We got a quote from Stratus Painting to paint the laundry room for $400. What we're going to do though is get a quote from him, because this has turned out so beautifully that it seems a shame not to continue it down the hall and in the laundry room. So all of the woodworking and everything will be done, the white and everything. So right now, we just have a quote for the laundry room, which is $400. So I'm looking for a motion to approve that amount and also to approve to get a quote for the woodwork. We won't change the blue color in the walls. We'll just probably
Just the woodwork.
patch a little, just the trim, all the wood, the doors, just like we did in here. And the laundry room has a band that goes around it.
Yes, it does.
Yeah, and it's all that. And I think it really makes it look nice and clean, the white, which is what I was hoping to do, make it bright and airy. So again, I'm looking for a motion to accept the quote of $400 to paint the laundry room and to accept a quote to be determined for the trim.
I make a motion, we
Thank you.
accept.
Not to feel
I second it.
That was the same
All in
policy.
favor?
I have a question. Do we
At
just
the end of the
At
meeting.
the end of the meeting, just remember the question, okay? And the other one is for the hallway, right?
Huh?
Hallway.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, flooring. I don't know why that's on there, just to say that the flooring is done.
Yeah, that was stuff.
The flooring is done. It looks wonderful,
Does look good.
okay? IT proposal. Did we put that in here?
No, we didn't.
Oh, well, that's
We
on
haven't
you.
read it yet. We haven't even got there yet.
What do you mean?
I haven't read it, have you?
Well, it's large, real large. And so
Real
we had
expensive.
sticker shock. So just to let you know that we do have an IT proposal to come in here and, you know, put things so that they're secure, anything that's being done with emails and the computer and all of that. So we're working on that. Okay, I'm gonna just mention something. I did get, did I put it in here? Okay, PHNs, mediation services provided by Massachusetts Office of Public Collaboration. The PHN provides information regarding free mediation services across the Commonwealth for local housing authorities, local tenant organizations, and public housing tenants. This free resource provided by the Massachusetts Office of Public Collaboration, MOPC, Housing Mediation Program, can help find flexible solutions that work for everyone, in many cases avoiding legal costs, rental arrears, and ultimately evictions. I'm not gonna read it all, it just goes into, it says, need to know, who is Massachusetts Office of Public Collaboration, goal of the collaboration, services provided, LHA's participation, and next steps for LHA. So what I will do, there's a lot of websites, links. I will put this on the bulletin board for anybody who wants to take a picture of it and then do their research. Okay? All right, let's see, mediation, that's all the same thing. Why do I have two? Okay, I have three. The other thing that I wanted to let you guys know in regards to DHCD has split. So Governor Healy has appointed, it's not been approved yet, but Governor has put in a recommendation for this appointment. So, his name is Augustus. I can't remember the first name, Mr. Edward Augustus.
Oh.
It hasn't been approved yet, so, but it is in the works. Okay, I didn't have that, huh?
I had to.
Okay, that's why, you got mine. Okay, so here it is, that's why she knew, my copy was missing. Okay, Governor Healy appoints new housing secretary. On Monday, Governor Maura Healy announced her choice for the new housing secretary, Edward Augustus. Mr. Augustus is a former state senator and Worcester city manager. He also served as Congressman Jim McGovern's chief of staff and worked in former President Bill Clinton's U.S. Department of Education. He will take office on June 1st. We look forward to working with the new secretary. Housing Committee holds many meetings with DHCD. Mass Narrows Housing Committee met yesterday with members of DHCD's Division of Public Housing and discussed a robust agenda, including the following items: update on PMR, priorities for future RFPs, recent FOIAs, regional attorney program updates, and legal training schedule. The complete committee report is at the link below. This will also get posted on the bulletin board. Okay? And now one other thing that just came in hot off the presses is an email. As you know, for all of you that attended last week's emergency meeting, we had kind of had it with Cap Hub and the powers that be in all these projects that have been started and nothing has been finished, and so we wanted to, one, vote against the new construction in the backyard. We did that. We unanimously voted to nix that. Okay? The other thing was, and I used the word vehemently, which Bobby had,
That was a good word.
that Bobby had fun with, that we were going to ask this Mr. Olson to give us some information on what's happening with our projects, because they start them, we approve them, they start them, and then they stop. And nobody has any idea why, what's going on. So guess what? A little birdie at the meeting must have called John Olson, because we got an email. Oh, yeah. Well, that's, I don't know why my printer decided to print it this way, but it says.
Was he yelling at you?
Yeah, it says, notice, be aware. Okay, so it says 69 Winthrop, it's supposed to say 76. I think it's a typo, Nancy thinks it's something else. Yeah, 705-3. The emergency basement repair project is out to bid now that Nancy has signed the designer's additional services request to rebid the project after an extensive delay. It's frustrating because we're not the ones that are delaying it. And yet, we are the ones that suffer because it gets stalled. and then it ends up costing us more money. But,
No income.
okay, repairs to the building have been estimated at over $600. Now, I kind of,
$600,000.
$600,000. $600,000, sorry. I choked a little when I read that because I thought, they told us it was just shoring up the basement, that's a big shore. But this does say, this includes replacement of the plumbing, mechanical and electrical systems, and a gut rehab of the interior. By doing a less extensive renovation for the existing layout and deferring some of the exterior work, window and siding replacement, repointing the exterior foundation masonry, etc., to future capital projects, and applying for DHCD's substantiable funds, attic insulation and replacing propane furnaces with air source heat pumps.
May I interrupt you?
Yeah.
We just put those gas furnaces in a couple of years ago. So they're almost brand new.
But then you're always complaining about the price of propane, so we won't have to worry about that because our
The
solar.
price of electric is,
Yeah, but we have solar now. We're part of the solar family.
unfortunately, we can't even get Wesco on it, so we can't.
Well,
get
pretty
the
soon we're not
electric.
gonna have to worry about Wesco. Okay, so the initial cost of getting the units in shape for occupancy may be cut in half. Even so, there is a significant funding gap. Vacant unit initiative funds would cover only about half the cost, leaving another $150,000 to $200,000 to be made up from other sources. Well, that's not bad considering $600,000. So, 150.
Okay, what they wanna do, we might have to.
Well, we were given a grant, 300,000 and 65,000 for Keys Road. We're not doing anything there supposedly. And I asked in my many emails to John Olson, instead of deferring that to new construction, why don't you defer that to here? But,
They can't.
you know, I can only suggest. It says, unfortunately, the original $350K allocated for 540 Keys Road cannot be transferred to this project, since it remains as a funding component for the new replacement duplex for Keys Road. So basically what that means is, they're saying, no, that money is supposed to be for the new construction in the backyard. Okay? I recommend that Warren Housing Authority representatives meet with its RCAT and DHCD project manager staff, myself, Steve Garuti, Tom Mulvey, to discuss options for moving this project forward. I see this is going in one of two directions. A, limited rehab, keeping the existing interior arrangements with kitchen and bath upgrades that would allow quicker reoccupancy, and more extensive exterior and systemic improvements phased in over time. Or B, doing a more comprehensive gut rehab as recommended by the study. This would have to be phased in over time as funding becomes available, and occupancy would be deferred, at least until the interior components and building systems are complete. One last option remains, that of replacing, it says 69, just for honesty here, it doesn't say 76, it says 69. We don't have a 69. Winthrop with a 2-unit duplex, similar to the Keys Road replacement, and selling or demolishing the property. Given the extent of recent and planned roof and basement work as well as limited funding, this possibility is remote, meaning they're not gonna do either. They're not gonna sell it, they're not gonna demolish it. They shouldn't. Replacement duplex for 540 Keys Road. Okay, that's the new construction. 1, DHCD has placed this project on hold. Thank you. Until the new location we discussed has been resolved with town officials. I am working with the selectmen, and I've gone to the planning board and the assessors and the building commissioner. And the holdup is the building commissioner doesn't like to return phone calls, I guess. But I have come up with a proposal that will move that new construction to West Warren, behind West School. The town donated that building to us, correct? That's where our 705 family units are already. And the property, the parking lot, and then I guess people told me there were tennis courts. The tennis courts, we maintain it. The town still owns it, but they don't do anything with it. So I'm trying to work with them to see how beneficial it would be if they would
Give it to
donate
us.
it to us.
Or even for $1.
Even for $1, whatever, at a minimal cost, so that we can then put this duplex, two-family unit, substantial rehab there, where there are already families. It'll be down on Spring Street, that's a nice quiet street, it has access to utilities. So I'm working on it, and so they're saying, they're just reminding me, which he has done already. However, due to the time limitation by which the project's ARPA funding must be expended, December 31st, 2024, this issue must be resolved soon with consideration given to the following. Of course, no cost has been budgeted for land acquisition. So in other words, even your dollar may not fly. Therefore, the terms of land acquisition must be at a minimal or no cost to the authority in order for this plan to proceed. Site design costs for the new location will increase. Boundary, topographical, and utility location surveys will be needed, which will cause further delays. This information has already been obtained for the original location behind 667-1, behind Building 4, which we knew nothing at all about, did we?
No. Did not.
I wasn't aware of it. Nancy said she
I'm
wasn't
not aware of
it.
much, I didn't even get that.
Well, that's because I'm a little fly that keeps pestering him in his ear, because I keep sending him emails.
Look at the list of people who got it.
I know.
Not-
If we revert to the original location, DHCD is willing to provide mitigation for the residents of 667-1 in the form of an increased setback. So in other words, we probably will be able to keep the clothesline
Yeah, we should have.
of the new duplex and a landscaped buffer,
A buffer.
and a landscaped buffer to screen any potential disruptive activities caused by new tenants.
Do you think you're not gonna hear kids?
I would like to schedule a meeting to discuss the above issues with you and Nancy Brown or her replacement within the next 2 weeks. Please let me know. John. And I
You
will,
still did, Nancy.
and I will, we will. And this is the list of everybody that got it, and Nancy's not on it, and her nose is out of joint.
Well, it should be.
Don't blame
Well, it should be.
I shared it with you. I shared it with you.
At least they're letting you go to the meeting, which you.
She's included
Carry
in the
to
meeting.
carry.
Yeah,
So-
right.
So we did get. So now what I still have to do is send him that vote that we said no to the new construction. And maybe that will make him find a better reason for doing, you know. Okay, so I guess warrants,
Yeah, right here.
and there are only, there are not that many checks.
No, they're right here. Yes, they're right.
Right.
That one's already signed.
So
told me
with
to
you
bring
and
your-
Bobby, I did not get a chance to
Do anything with them.
look at them, and so you guys will have to do that.
I did them, so I know they're there.
Huh?
I did them, so I know they're there.
Oh, okay. We'll take your word for that. Right?
Nope.
She has a little faith in you.
No, but it's our job to make sure it's correct. Okay, so I think,
They're gonna start running these things.
okay, so, other than that, the next thing is adjournment, so I guess what I will do is I will open up to, public comments.
Someone will jump up at once.
Hey, Jeff.
We're
Public
ready.
comment. You wanted to say something?
No, I was just wondering about the bids, you know, how many bids it doesn't seem like we ever have multiple bids on anything, it seems like we have.
Only if it's over so much money.
We,
Anything under 10,000 money, you don't need multiple bids at all.
no, just, so that's my question, if I was doing something on my house and it was $8,000 in my bathroom, I would be shopping around and I wouldn't just be going to one person, I know it's under 10, but it's just,
Based in regulation from DHCD, if it's $10,000 or over, we have to get multiple bids, and then DHCD gets their fingers into it, and then it goes forever, and they want all these different things, and it takes a whole bunch more time. Having that ability, we did get other bids. We asked other painters to come out, they didn't show up. The painter we used, if you're referring to what we just did, is the painter the company we've been using to rehab all the apartments. But we did look into, we did get a bid on the floor. That bid was double, and that didn't include materials.
yeah, I was just wondering
Yeah.
about the,
Yeah,
you know.
so
just
that's,
because
we did, we do
if it
try
was-
to make.
If it was my money or your money,
Yeah.
we'd be looking around, does it, you know, I don't know about you, but, you know, I don't care if I'm spending $1,000 or $5,000, I want, you know, if I could save $200 if I have to spend $1,000, I wanna save the 200 and pay 8, you know.
Right, but we also need to make sure that the
Right.
person is licensed and insured and
Right.
and
I
has
mean,
some
that's a due
recommendations.
diligence
Yeah.
thing with anyone for any project you do. Are they bonded? Are they insured?
Yep.
All that stuff.
They can't
You know,
really be done.
that's all.
Unfortunately, I wish all of the vendors were, some of them say they are, and then you get involved with them, and then when you ask them to produce their papers, they don't have that. So, you know, I really think, I really think this worked out really well, and,
So, I would also like to request the bylaws of the
Housing
organization.
authority.
Yeah, I don't have a copy of the bylaws, and I couldn't find them anywhere.
No,
well, didn't you put them in one of those books?
There's no bylaws anywhere, I can't find them.
With all the moving of furniture and everything, we'll have to check. I think that, we moved that bureau that was in the dining room, we're gonna leave it there, and there are drawers in there. Those 3 books, I think, went in those drawers.
Maybe it's a loose leaf, like.
Yeah, they're a binder, a 3-ring binder, and
I
I
couldn't-
thought that they had put them in there,
I
but
couldn't find them.
if you want them, Nancy will print them up and just have
Yeah.
Mike come and she'll give them to
not
to
today.
him. Not today, cause she's off the clock now.
Yeah.
She's
No.
not. Well,
Because she's
you
supposed
know
to
what I
be.
mean, you're not working in the office.
And the last question I had is,
Yeah.
how do you put an item on the agenda?
You go into the office and you present it to Nancy.
Yep.
And then Nancy discusses it with the board, and then a decision is made as to whether it goes on the agenda.
Okay.
Okay, all right.
Or have Mike come and bring you.
Huh?
If Mike wants to bring you over, just call me ahead so I can open the
Or
door.
he can write it up. You can
Oh,
just write it up and then
Yeah.
have Mike bring it in,
Okay,
okay?
Yep.
Paulette?
He was wondering about the bids and that, anything over 10,000 or over, anything in the state, if you're on the state board or anything, they have to have extra bids. Anything under 10,000 doesn't have to.
No, right, doesn't,
Yeah.
we just get it
Yeah.
ourselves.
And I just wanted to let them know that it's not only the housing authority,
It's
any
everybody.
state function,
Yes.
Right.
it's $10,000.
It all, okay, Debbie?
I was gonna ask, what are they doing with the property on Keith Road? Are
They've
they
kind of,
tearing it down?
what the best information Nancy has gotten is that because Keys Road, they never bothered to go to the town to talk about a permit to do this. and just hired architects to come up with plans and spend money. Once they got into the meat of it, they realized it's a septic system.
And
Well, they-
well,
And a well, and they wanted to put in two-bedroom units there. Well, that septic system is not approved for 4 bedrooms, cause your septic systems under Title V go by bedrooms, as I understand it.
yes, it is.
And so, when they found out that they were gonna end up having to put in a brand-new septic system, and then a brand-new well,
Squash. It's been empty
So
for
the best-
7 years.
the-
7
the
years.
best that we have been, I don't know, I got it from her, so shoot her if it's wrong. That they're gonna sell it. Once we replace it, they're gonna sell it.
They say that, but they don't seem to ever do it until they replace what's there.
Now, who's gonna sell it? The housing?
Not me. You see, DHCD will sell it,
Sell
but
it.
we have to replace what's there.
Right.
You can't just sell it. They
Now
don't
there's-
wanna lose any bedrooms, so they have to build like they wanted here, but now we're gonna try to get them down there. If they build that, then they can sell that. And it's a beautiful property, it really is. I'm sure somebody will squash that thing right up. I mean,
Squash it?
well,
Scoop it up, scoop it up.
The upstairs, the upstairs is
Squash
not
it too.
done, so,
Is it a it's a, like
it's a garage for downstairs.
Oh, it's a garage, yeah.
Don't call
That's
Peg.
why Peggy Gorman is
Don't
it.
call
Please
Peg.
don't call Peg.
Don't call Peg.
It's a shame.
It's a shame.
It is.
7 years. That's a
There is
long
something
time.
else that you guys need to know about too, not that it's gonna affect you directly, but this is something else we just found out. Our West Warren School, first we thought it was gonna be Mass Housing that was taking it over. And I questioned and asked Nancy things, and they're not giving Nancy information, so Nancy can't answer me, and I wanna be able to, we're looking in, and that's another thing on this agenda that we have to address,
Might
is
have
update.
gone over to the other one that we did on May 18th, Virginia.
Yeah, it might have.
I might have.
So now the information I've gotten as of yesterday, is that it's not Mass Housing, it is HUD that's taking it over. So,
Excuse me, please.
what?
Mass Housing, they sent me an email just as before I came over here.
Yeah,
Mass Housing has all the information, so what the HUD is, I have no clue.
well, then that came from her boss. But that's what she said, it's, in the email she sent me, it's not Mass Housing, it's HUD. So now they're saying it is Mass
Okay,
Housing?
this is going.
Nancy? It is
I don't
Mass?
know, that's who they sent it to. Now she's going to call me back. The 150's here.
Yeah, it
Nice
is.
of somebody to ask.
I don't know what they're doing.
Well, she's holding it because the work is over. Okay, there was one other thing on the agenda that we didn't get to, and that was the ED search. So we have done our screening.
That's 65, that's 64.
We now will be discussing and putting together, questions, for the full board at a, public meeting to interview them and then make a decision. So that's hopefully
Wait, hold on, let me find that one. I just
the
did
first
this.
part of June that we should, so maybe we will have,
Probably said Nate, did you get?
No, that's.
we got 14 applications,
So you got 14?
yeah,
Oh, good.
and so we will, some have dropped out,
That's the
and I
extra
can't
one.
go into any further, but, and so,
Ashes, this is hot.
we will, we're hopefully looking at by this, maybe the second week in June, to have hired someone.
Wow.
Then of course, we then have to present that to DHCD. The good news is, Mass Narrow has handled all of the particulars, so DHCD should have everything they need, and everything should be right to the
So it
letter.
shouldn't take as long.
Hopefully, but DHCD, once Evelyn looks at it and approves it, then she sends it up the chain. And then when it gets to the top of the chain, they have 30 days to make a decision.
You
But-
can get till July.
But I'm hoping, I don't think that's
Very
gonna
busy in
happen.
June.
I don't think that's gonna happen. I think that they're gonna, the fact that it was a good move to have Mass Narrow do our legwork and all of that, so, I mean, what are they gonna do, question Mass Narrow? Not as easy as they can question us. So I think we'll be good.
So it's okay.
They just can't push around Mass Narrow.
Huh?
They just can't push around.
No.
No. And truly, there is no reason to push
Yes.
around Mass Narrow. I mean, they fund them.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is Stavros and this is Stavros.
Everybody has his money.
Okay, right, but that's the 4208 and the 150. But the 400 is still in your office. Good, good. Then give it to me. I'll wait. I'll be here. Give it to me.
Yeah, yeah.
Do I look like I want? Jesus, I'm on your back all the time. Okay, so, the warrant, yep, the warrant, let's do the warrant.
Checks are signed off, put those out. Oh, crap, I gotta put them out today. I think my brother drove,
Okay.
once 2 hours. I think he just drove by. I was trying to see that for hours.
Oh, I see him go
Was that the one with the dog with the tail out the window?
I just want to say this.
That was cute.
Okay, so, I am looking for a motion to adjourn the meeting. Oh, I mean to approve the warrant, sorry, I was ahead of myself. I keep thinking of poor Travis, he needs to get to the selectmen.
I make a motion, we approve the warrant.
I second.
Yep.
All in favor?
Yes.
Aye. Motion passed unanimously.
Have fun at your next meeting.
Now,
Oh,
I have to make a motion to adjourn.
oh, okay.
I'm looking for a motion to adjourn the meeting.
Hurry up, Virginia.
I make a motion to adjourn the meeting.
And Virginia, what time is it?
second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
The meeting is adjourned at 4:25 PM.
Okay.
Okay,